Started. We'll take questions. Ruth Robbins is first, followed by Chris Fetters. Go ahead for Coach Bhonapha. Ruth.
Hey, KB. Smile for. I just want to just talk in generalities here about your stable going into this season. And, it seems like there's a lot of guys that can do things situationally. Will you be looking at certain guys for situational plays? And if so, what guys are we talking about?
Well, I think that's a really good question. And if I had to answer that question, honestly, I said we're looking for all of them to be ready situationally. You know what I mean? I think when you got a group of guys that are so talented, you try not to specialize anybody out. And obviously, as a fall camp goes on and we get closer to the season, we're looking for production and consistency, whether it be running the ball, catching the ball out the backfield. And also, my big thing always with these backs is going to be pass protection. So as we continue to mold and grow and continue to get a little bit more cohesive, we're hoping that all these guys develop to take the next step so they'll be ready for any situation.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters, followed by Anthony. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. KB, I was just curious. I asked Coach Lake a little bit about the trend towards going after bigger running backs, and he talked about the idea that there's a reason why heavyweights don't get to fight lightweights. And I was curious whether or not you'd had conversations with him in the past about, was there a conscious effort to try to go after bigger guys in the recruitment process? Because, right now, if you go to next year, you guys, I think you'd average over 6 foot a back and about 204 pounds based on the current heights and weights. And I was wondering if there was a kind of a method to all this stuff and if it was consciously done.
Well, I will just say this. I'm 5'9", and I feel more comfortable when I have guys that I look up at around me, because I feel like I'm protected from the people in the stands from throwing stuff at me when my guys don't play good. No, I'm just playing. I think the big thing is, as we've kind of gone through this and gone against some of these teams, once we get kind of down the stretch and, you watch how these bigger backs, wear down defenses in the second half and, short yardage situations. Now, obviously, University of Washington, we've been, blessed with some really good backs like the Bishop Sankeys, and obviously the guy that I got a chance to coach, Miles Gaskin, who are just really good running backs. But we do continue to think we can get bigger. We can get guys that are agile at a bigger size when it comes to pass protection, when it comes to moving the chains on short yardage, when it comes to moving the ball on the goal line. Now, obviously, we're going to take the best player available, and that's what we're always looking for, is the guy that fits what we want to do. But I will say this: we are looking big, and it's a good feeling, understanding the talent that we have in that size. So to say we're just going after the biggest guy, no. We are looking, still for that good quality running back that the University of Washington has a tradition of having. But we've been fortunate to feel good about the bigger guys that we've got in the room right now.
All right, we'll go to Anthony Edwards, followed by Lauren Kirschman. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, Coach Bhonapha. So we didn't get the chance to speak with you yet, but we've heard from Coach Lake and Coach Donovan that the running backs are going to be key in the passing game this year. How have you guys been working on that this fall?
Well, I would say this. I think, some of the things that tends to happen with running backs in general, they get overlooked in the pass game because everybody's so used to seeing receivers and tight ends catching the ball from the QB. But we've gotten, fortunate to have some guys that can catch the ball really well. Like, I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but Miles had some of the best hands on the team when he was here. And some of the stuff we were doing is putting these guys. This whole program is about growth. It is about innovation, about guys getting better. And, catching the ball is part of football, blocking is part of the game, running is part of the game. And we've been able to kind of, help these guys develop, their hands, putting them in uncomfortable situations where they got to line up and, catch the ball out the backfield, something that, we try to mimic and try to do. But now we're really fortunate to get those guys working on their hands and catching the ball.
All right. I know the sound isn't so great, so we'll see if we can do about that. But we'll go to Lauren Kirschman next, followed by Lars Hanson.
Hi, I was wondering what you've seen from Cam Davis so far in camp and what you're looking for from him as far as potentially playing a bigger role this season for you guys.
Yeah, that's a good question. Cam, is the sound okay? I don't ask. Good?
Yes, Coach, it's much better now. Much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, Cam is, definitely he's a guy that, we had him doing some of what we used to call the candy dish last year, and you see him on those Sundays and getting a chance to run. And he's explosive. He's gotten a lot bigger. I think he's really, really a really tough kid, and he's really a conscientious kid. He's an old school guy that's tough, and he wants to learn, and he wants to get his opportunity. I'm excited to see what he can do. The most of the stuff has been individuals and situational stuff, but he's tough and pass pro. He has really good feet. His speed is really exciting. I think the University of Washington and the fans are going to be really excited with Cam Davis brings to the football field. He just like the rest of these guys just has to keep developing. I know we got Sean and Kamari, who are older guys, but you think about Rich Newton and Cam; those guys haven't played a ton, and those guys have to keep developing. So I'm really excited about what Cam has to offer to this program.
All right, we'll go to Lars Hanson, followed by Dan Raley. Go ahead, Lars.
How's it going, Coach?
Good.
So I noticed that Kamari is plus 17 pounds from last season, while McGrew is down 11. Kind of just talk about how do those guys contrast each other, because given they're obviously built totally different.
That is a very good question, because you know more than I know. Obviously, I think you worry about. I know Kamari's heavier than he was last year. I didn't have it down to the poundage, so now I'm embarrassed. But with that being said, he's running really good. I think Kamari has always been our Swiss Army knife. He can block, he can catch. He runs the ball decent enough. Obviously, I'll never hesitate to say with any of these guys, he needs to keep developing. But I will say this: what he's shown so far, I don't know if the poundage has helped him, but it definitely hasn't hurt him, and he's looked really good this camp. With Sean, I think he felt like, with him being a little bit heavier last year, he didn't have the same quickness and burst that he has right now. And I think with both of those guys that you're talking about, at the end of the day, it's going to be their thing going into this being their senior year. However that works out, they have to just continue to work on being consistent and coming in day after day. I'm not worried about a great play on Tuesday and Wednesday. We want good plays Tuesday through the next Tuesday. And that's really should be the main focus for those guys as they finish out camp.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley. He'll be followed by Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Dan.
Coach, Richard Newton had kind of an interesting year last year. He scored 11 touchdowns and had a lot of yards, but he didn't start. Where's he at right now with his progress?
He's good. I think, I go back to Rich. If you think about it, the year before, Rich redshirted and was out for a whole season. So he had a whole season where he didn't even play football. And then, he got a chance to, we found a role for him, obviously having Savon and having Kamari and having Sean here and, really trying to figure out, how you get some of these guys the ball. And, we put him in some Wildcat stuff, and then he started progressing in that fashion. And then just him getting more comfortable with the package when it comes to protection and exactly what he needed to do was kind of where his development stage was last season. I think the big thing where he has kind of turned the corner is just his intensity. And when we talk about this team, we talk about, focus and building day after day, just day after day, and the consistency you can build there. And that's really where Rich is at. He's just trying to show up and be consistent day after day. And really, for me, my thing is always going to be the big greatness going to come with, can these guys block? Can these guys understand protection? We know Rich can run the ball, but now we're just trying to build on him being an overall running back at the University of Washington.
All right, Mike Vorel's next, followed by Chris Fetters. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, just with Newton, like you said, I mean, he runs so physically, so violently, but there have been some injuries that come with that. Is that a concern at all? Do you need to do anything to protect him at all, or is his running style just what it is?
I think you just keep recruiting good running backs that can back him up if he does go down. I mean, that's really the answer. The one thing you don't want to do is, I guess for lack of a better term, shave the horns on a bull. Just let him go. Obviously, I think the one thing that I try to focus on is, I think about sideline and things like that, where you're not taking unnecessary shots that you don't need to. But if you think about it, last season he was in on the goal line. He was in on short yardage. And trust me, if you got a guy that's tiptoeing in those situations, you guys will be trying to get me out of here, and the fans will be yelling too. So I think with that being said, he needs just to continue to run, and stay in the weight room and stay as healthy as possible. But I'm not trying to hold him back at all.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters and then Anthony Edwards. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Coach, kind of in that vein. I mean, he really did make his Richard did it as the wildcat, short yardage, goal line type guy. He really did so well there. But if you look at the Go Huskies roster now, I think you've got four tailbacks that are at least 220 pounds listed, or at least 210. Is it one of those things now where you have more variety, you can use more guys, or do you still feel like when you have a guy like Rich who's so effective in those situations that he's kind of your go-to guy and that's how you're going to roll?
Good question. I think, really for us, and obviously we still got some time before we get down to Berkeley. It's about putting the best guys on the field, and obviously roles change. This is not we're not sitting, talking about what we did last year. Obviously, if that was the case, we want to do a couple of things a lot better. So these guys are just trying to develop and get themselves ready for this season. Now, the question is, do we think, Rich is the short yardage guy and this guy's not at this point. At this point, everybody is trying to do their best to develop, to get ready in any situation to play ball.
All right, we'll go to Anthony, followed by Larshanson. Go ahead, Anthony.
You guys added a walk-on this year, past year, Cherry. For someone like him to just come into such a deep position like this, what motivated him to come to the University of Washington when there's so many people in front of him?
That's a very good question. He's a kid from, I think, the Linwood area. You said Capaccio Cherry, right?
Yeah, he actually went to my high school.
Okay, yeah. I think, it's something about getting a chance to play at home. I mean, we're talking about the University of Washington. And when I say that, I don't say that lightly, but I think about, the Sam Adams and the Saban Ahmeds and, Miles Gaskins that have played here. If I'm from the state of Washington, I mean, this is exactly where I'd want to go to school. I mean, you think about the purple, you think about the gold, you think about Husky Nation inside of Husky Stadium, you think everything that the University of Washington has to offer. I mean, having a couple guys in front of you or having to work for something is what the Huskies are all about. So that should not scare anybody from coming to the University of Washington. So that's the answer why he's here. He wants to compete. He wants to be at one of the best programs in the country, and he wants to be in one of the best programs in the country when it comes to football.
All right, we'll go to Lars, followed by Kim. Go ahead, Lars.
Hey, Coach. And Sam Adams, as you mentioned, just talk about what intrigued you about going down to Texas to find JV on Sunday and then getting Sam Adams as well.
Okay. I'll start with Sam Adams. I mean, obviously, household name with his dad, and some of the stuff he was able to do here when he was a Seahawk. And then over the years, we've since I've been here at the University of Washington, we've been recruiting Eastside Catholic, Brandon Wellington, you name a couple of the other guys. And then obviously, now having Sam Adams here and getting a chance to watch, a big athlete, he catches the ball well, he's really smooth. And, obviously a guy being from Washington, him understanding how important it is to stay at home. I don't think, sometimes you think you're just recruiting a local guy because he's a local guy. But no, this is a guy that is a big time player, a guy that, will show some different things he can do on the football field for us. And we're really excited to have him in the room and have him in this program, with that being said. And then you think about, Javion, obviously it's always good to, go outside your footprint a little bit. And, you're trying to go outside your footprint and go get the best player available outside the footprint if that's possible. And got a chance to watch Javion's film, when he was a sophomore. And I'm like, this guy's pretty interesting. And then kind of talk to the coaches about what he was all about, the type of work ethic he had, the way he attacked each game, the way, he was as a person. And I'm like, well, he'll fit into this room perfectly. And I think, having, a little mix, we got guys from California, we got guys from Washington, and now having a guy from Texas, in our room is a great mix up and just adding more seasoning to the pot of what we call a stable. I think, the fans and, you guys will be excited to watch these two young kids get going.
All right, we'll wrap things up for Coach Bhonapha with Kim Grinolds. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Coach, looking forward to your pictures on your outside Halloween decorations coming up soon. I'm sure this is going to be fun.
Wait, what pictures? What pictures are you talking about?
Are you there?
Yeah, what pictures? What pictures?
Your Halloween pictures out in your front yard.
Oh, you talking about the skeletons?
Yeah, looking forward to those.
That's not in my house. It's so funny. Everybody think that's our neighbor. That's like people on our street that do that. That's the best part about it. People think I stand out in my yard and put up skeletons during the whole quarantine. It was my neighbors. I just walk by and take pictures. But
Hey,
that's Twitter for you.
hey, in today's day and age, is it realistic to have a workhorse back that, averages 20, 25 carries a game? And, when you've got a guy that, do you have some guys that just need to be in there to build up their rhythm later in the game? And would you rather have one guy 25 carries or split those carries?
That's a good question. Now, I will tell you this, Kim, I got my own recipe on how I like to get my guys in there. And being that somebody will be able to find this interview somewhere, I don't want to give that to any other program. But I do feel this. It's all about getting the best guys on the field, guys that are going to be productive, guys that are going to produce, guys that are going to help, the offense in this whole program move. And that's where I'll leave that one.
All right, that'll wrap it up for Coach Bhonapha. We appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Such a physical running style, but you've also had, a number of injuries in the last couple of years. Do you worry about that at all, or do you just, at the end of the day, just run the way that you run?
I don't really worry about that too much because at the end of the day, it's football. I just try to go out and go as hard as I can every play, but I don't really worry about getting injured too much.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley, followed by Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Dan.
Richard, you've scored a lot of touchdowns and picked up a lot of yards in the last year, but I don't think you've been a starter for maybe 2.5 years since halfway through your high school's senior season. Would that be a badge of honor for you to be a starter again, to show that you've come all the way back from in your journey?
Not really. I mean, it didn't really bother me not being a starter because I was still getting play time and I was still helping the team. You know what I mean? So that title as a starter, or whatever, doesn't mean too much to me.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters, followed by Lauren. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Richard, it's kind of in that vein. I mean, you scored so many touchdowns last year, and we're kind of known as that third down, short yardage, goal line type guy. Does that even matter to you if you want to be considered an every down back, or as long as you're hitting the end zone, do you even care?
Actually, I do. I wanted to expand my game as to being more of an every down back, but I was actually just taking the role that was given to me. So didn't really bother me either.
All right, we'll go to Lauren. Lauren will be followed by Lars. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hi, Richard. I'm wondering about one of the new guys in your room. What has your impression been of Javion Sunday?
He's a young guy, funny guy. Can't wait to see them get going, all the young guys. I like him a lot.
All right, we'll go to Lars, followed by Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Lars.
Hey, Richard, I noticed your weight isn't any different from what it was listed at last season. Just talk about what were you able to do this offseason to kind of keep your body in as good a shape as you could given the circumstances?
Really, I was working on being lighter so I can be faster, but I'm trying to balance it. You know what I mean? I've never been this heavy, so I'm trying to balance speed and power and all of that.
All right, we'll go to Mike Vorel, followed by Christian Caple. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Richard, you had that touchdown catch against BYU, and I'm wondering, do you feel like you can be more of a factor in the passing game this season?
Yes, I do. That's what we've been working on all offseason, all of us running backs, just being more of a weapon in the pass game and getting the ball out of the backfield.
All right, we'll go to Christian Caple and then Kimgrinolds. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, Richard, I'm just wondering what it is about the Wildcat that you think makes you a good fit for sort of that role. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to be a part of the offense going forward or not, but what was kind of the trick to it last year for you that allowed you to have some success there?
I've really been running Wildcat my whole life, so I've kind of just had a knack for it. I was really glad they chose me as a Wildcat guy. And I played a little bit of quarterback, so being in that position wasn't too different for me.
All right, Kimgrinolds, followed by Dan Raley. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Rich, if they let you call plays for the Cal game, how many carries would you get?
I think I distribute the ball pretty much everywhere. Yeah, I don't really know how many carries I give myself. I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish, but do want the ball.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley, followed by Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Dan.
Richard, what was your freshman year like? You didn't even you didn't go to practice and put on pads or anything, or is that not true?
No, I went to practice. I was just injured most of the year, so it was a learning year for me. A lot of learning, but my freshman year was cool. I got to learn a lot. I got to learn the offense, how things worked around here, and I think it's good. I think it was good for me.
All right, Chris Fetters, followed by Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Chris.
Rich, I know Sean is still a big part of the stable and a big part of what you guys try to do in the run game. But generally speaking, you guys over the last few years have gotten a lot bigger, and it looks like you're going to continue to even get bigger next year. What does that do you think for you guys as a group when you kind of look at it bigger picture?
For us, the more guys, the better. So we don't mind having a bigger running back room. Actually, we like it more. Actually.
All right, we'll go to Mike Vorel, followed by Christian Caple. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Richard, I'm going to throw two quick questions at you. A lot of people in the last year have kind of described your running style in different ways. I'm curious how you would describe your running style. And also the move to number 6, is there any significance to that?
I really don't know what to describe my running style because I haven't got to really do or show what, like, everything I can do. I haven't got really into open space. I haven't got in a foot race like that. So I really don't know what to describe it right now. Hopefully this upcoming year, you guys will see it and you guys can describe it what you want. But number 6, I didn't really, there's no significance behind it. I wanted a single digit and they gave me 6 and I'm cool with that.
All right, we'll go to Christian Caples, followed by Chris Fetters, and then Dan Raley. Go ahead, Christian.
I'm wondering if you could give us a scouting report on Cam Davis as a running back.
Cam Davis, he's kind of like me size-wise. He's fast. Really, he has everything to his game. He's a smooth back. He's kind of shifty. He has some power to him. I like watching Cam play.
All right, Chris Fetters, then Dan Raley, and we'll wrap it up with Tony. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Rich, when asked Coach Lake about getting bigger in terms of size, the running backs, he said that there's a reason why heavyweights don't fight lightweights. Are you seeing the kind of the production with the bigger backs, bigger size guys, and how that might work for your guys' advantage as you go forward?
Yeah, especially with Lake, he wants more power. So I think having more weight on us helps a lot because we want to run and pound the ball. So, but we also have the speed backs to complement us, and I think it goes hand in hand. But I think power is a big part of our offense.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley, and then again, Tony will wrap us up. Go ahead, Dan.
On that comparison to running backs, I told Ahmed last year that he was probably the Penny of the Huskies and that you were the Chris Carson, and he liked that comparison. What do you think?
I like that too. I think last year we did well with just complimenting each other, just working off each other, gaining energy off each other, and yeah, that comparison's pretty nice. I like Chris Carson.
All right, we'll go to Tony Castricone with the last question for Richard. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, Rich, just getting to know you a little bit. I'm curious what it was like for you.
Tony, you're going to have to ask it again. We can't hear you very well, Tony.
Hey, Rich, curious about your freshman year, not playing football and then getting out there as a red shirt. You're in 4th and 1. You're lined up to take the first snap of your college career. What are you thinking about before that play? And then, of course, you run it for a 23-yard touchdown. What was that like for your first college carry?
Me coming in that play, we practiced it. I don't remember what I was going through. I was pretty nervous though. I was nervous. I had butterflies. but I didn't believe it'll go that. I didn't believe I score, and when I did, it didn't feel real. It felt just like a movie, kind of. Like I've never touched the end zone before, but it was cool. It was crazy.
All right. Thank you, Richard. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.